All right, well, rough outcome for us, but two positives. I thought the Cardination crowd was great. We were getting beat down and we scored a point and it felt like a huge point. So it was awesome to have our fans here and have that support. And then two, I thought Anna DeBeer, played great, who, has been struggling offensively, and it felt like she was keeping us in the match. So those are about the only two positives. Good news is I think it's hard to beat great teams twice. So we've lost to two great teams that hopefully we have a chance to see later in the year.
Danny, those first two sets, it just seemed like they had an answer for almost everything you guys were trying to do offensively. What made it so hard to crack that defense?
Oh, I don't think they were playing great D. We got aced 8 times, and we had a total of 25 hitting errors in 3 sets. So we hit like 3 out of the first 5 balls after they started making a run, 20 feet out of bounds, not even like 2 feet out of bounds. So it's pretty indicative of your side of the net.
So what changed then, I guess, going into that there?
I think we started hitting some balls in the court, so that was helpful, and we started serving a little bit tougher, and then I thought it was good to see a little bit of a fight from our team and kind of go back to what we do well. And I thought Charity started killing some balls. That's huge. Your left sides are always going to get a lot of swings. So it was good to see her kind of pull out of her funk.
Kind of bouncing off what you were talking about with Anna and Charity, too. It just seems like when they're on, the rest of the team is on. How important is it to do that in this game? Make sure that they're ready.
Yeah, it's really important. And they're, 2 seniors, 2 captains, and it's a tough position to be in for them, too, sometimes when you're not playing well. As a coach, it's hard to take them off the court because they're your seniors, they're your leaders, and they've won a lot of games for us in the past. So as a coach, you think, okay, if they pull themselves out of this, we're right in this match. And when they don't, then today's what happens.
Coach, as far as the environment, over 14,000 people able to show up here today, and to be able to have a crowd like this on a national stage, what does that mean to you, and what does that mean to the sport as well, to be able to play with all these eyes on you guys and on this game as well?
Yeah, it means a ton to us. The fact that we got to host the first game on ABC and that our fans took that to heart. That's a big thing. If you want to host it, but then you want it to look good on TV, and you want to show the world that we support athletics and especially women's sports, and I thought we did that on a really high level. So it was a great moment. Of course, soured a little bit, not just losing, but in a sweep. But we're gonna look back and say it's pretty cool to be in this position.
When Coach Cook was in here, he raised some questions, I think, about your commitment to the 6-2 and whether you're still committed to that. Can you give us a sense for what you're juggling there, if indeed you are?
Of course, anytime you're in a 6-2 and you have the depth that we have, I think you're going to question it when things go poorly. What's hard is in our system, it comes down to serve and pass, and so whether we're in a 5-1 or a 6-2, we're probably going to have the same 3 passers out there. So that doesn't really change. The 5-1 just gives you more opportunities to take those players out. We're just talking about if we're taking Anna DeBeer or Charity out of the match, it's probably not a good thing, whether we're in a 5-1 or a 6-2.
And you've been a key leader for this team for years. After a match like this, what is that conversation amongst the team, amongst the captains, the leaders? What does that look like, and how do you guys kind of pick up and take off from here and kind of rebound from this?
Yeah, luckily it's still early. Obviously, the talk is frustrating. We're in there, and we know that there's so much more in us, and we've seen that. And it was just one of those days where we couldn't really get anything going, and when we did in that third set, it was just a little too late. And I think it's just a really good way to learn. There's so many things we can take away from this, and like she said, it is hard to beat a good team twice. So we're hoping to see them. Maybe we'll see them later on, and just motivating, just getting into ACC play. There's a lot of things that we can think about, and this is a good match to learn from. So.
Danny, how tough was Nebraska serving, and how did that affect what you wanted to do offensively?
But yeah, I thought they served really well, and sometimes it's not about the pace of the serve or the toughness, but they hit their zones at a really high level and disrupted what we were trying to do. So I think that was probably the game right there, at least the beginning of the match. So hats off to them. They served great, and it's very hard to serve that well on the road, and I thought they took care of business.
For both of you guys, just after getting out the non-con schedule that you guys have already played, but going into a really solid ACC schedule, how quickly do you have to put losses like that behind you? And how easier is it to learn from big-time opponents like this when you have, another one coming in next Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Well, our weaknesses have been shown to us, so we have a lot to work on. And the ACC is tougher than it's ever been. So, at least we've tested ourselves. We've played great at times. So we have a lot to look back on when we get in tough moments in the conference season. But Cal's got one of the best outsides in the country. She's very good, and so we play Cal on Friday. And I think a loss like this teaches you every game is so important, even more so when you're carrying losses into the conference season. So we can't be looking ahead to Sunday, even though that's another powerhouse program.
Anything else?
Thank you guys.
Thank you.